Millions of people are raising chickens right now and losing money without even realizing it. That backyard flock you're so proud of, it might actually be costing you more than it earns. And the tiny bird most people laugh at could be out-earning your entire coop 10 to 1. In 2026, the economics of small poultry have completely shifted. Feed prices are up, egg markets are flooded, and the old advice about chickens being the best starter livestock, it's outdated. But there's a bird so small it fits in your hand that's helping homesteaders clear over $40,000 a year on less than half an acre. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which bird puts more cash in your pocket per square foot, per dollar of feed, and per hour of your time. We're comparing quail and chickens side by side with real numbers, real margins, and a clear winner. And I'll be honest with you, the answer surprised even me. Here's what nobody tells you when you start with chickens. You buy 20 chicks for a couple bucks each. Sounds cheap, right? Then you build the coop. That's $500 to $1,500 if you're being honest. You buy the feeder, the waterer, the heat lamp, the bedding, another $150 easy. Then the feed bill starts. A laying hen eats about 1.5 pounds of feed per week. At today's prices, you're looking at $25 to $35 a month just to keep 20 birds fed. And here's the kicker. Those hens won't lay a single egg for 5 to 6 months. That's half a year of feeding, cleaning, and caring for birds that are giving you absolutely nothing in return. When they finally do start laying, you're competing against Walmart eggs at $3 to $4 a dozen. Your neighbor down the road is selling hers for $5. The big commercial operations with 1 million birds are crushing prices so low that your little flock can barely break even. And feed keeps going up. In 2024, layer feed averaged around $18 per 50-pound bag. In 2026, many areas are seeing $22 to $26 for the same bag. Your margins are shrinking every single month. Now, multiply that frustration across a whole year. You've spent $600 or more on feed alone. You've collected maybe 4,000 eggs if your hens performed well. You sold them at $5 a dozen. That's roughly $1,600 in revenue. Subtract feed, bedding, supplies, and that coop you built, and you're barely clearing a few $100s for an entire year of daily work. That's not a side income. That's a hobby with chores. Meanwhile, the commercial industry keeps pumping out cheap eggs by the truckload, pushing your price down further. And every new person who starts a backyard flock in your area adds more competition to an already flooded local market. So you work harder, spend more, and earn less. Sound familiar? The real question isn't whether chickens can make money. It's whether there's a smarter bird to start with. One that lays faster, costs less to feed, takes up almost no space, and sells at a premium price that Walmart can't touch. There is, and most people have never seriously considered it. Here's something the commercial poultry industry doesn't want you to think about. Quail farming isn't new, it isn't trendy, it isn't some internet fad cooked up by influencers. Japanese farmers have been raising Coturnix quail for over 1,000 years. In ancient Egypt, quail were trapped and raised as a primary protein source long before chickens dominated the farmyard. For centuries, small-scale farmers across Asia, the Middle East, and parts of Europe understood something powerful. Quail convert feed into protein faster, in less space, and with less risk than almost any other domesticated bird. That knowledge was passed down through generations of farmers who didn't have tractors, hatchery catalogs, or YouTube videos. They just understood efficiency. So what happened? Industrial agriculture happened. When commercial operations figured out how to cram 100,000 chickens into a single building and sell eggs for pennies, the small producer got buried. The entire system was designed around volume, massive flocks, massive barns, massive capital. And quail, the bird that thrived on small farms for centuries, got pushed to the side because it didn't fit the factory model. But here's what the industry never told you. The factory model was never built for you. It was built for corporations with million-dollar facilities and distribution contracts. The backyard farmer trying to compete in that system is a rigged game. The old farmers knew better. They raised the bird that matched their scale. Small land, small budget, big returns per square foot. That bird was quail then, and it's quail now. The difference is that in 2026, the market has finally caught up. Consumers want specialty products. They want gourmet. They want something they can't find at the grocery store. And suddenly, the ancient wisdom of raising quail isn't just practical, it's wildly profitable. What the commercial industry threw away, smart homesteaders are picking back up, and the numbers prove they're right. Let me show you exactly how the two birds compare head to head. If you're serious about making real money from small livestock instead of just playing farmer, hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because what I'm about to break down could completely change your operation. Let's start where every farmer starts, your wallet. To get a basic chicken operation running, you need a coop, fencing, feeders, waterers, bedding, and birds. Even a modest setup for 20 laying hens costs $700 to $1,500, depending on whether you build or buy, and that's before a single egg hits the carton. Quail? Completely different story. You can house 50 Coturnix quail in a setup that costs $150 to $300. Stacked wire cages, simple nipple waterers, basic feeders. That's it. No massive coop, no predator-proof run covering half your yard, no $200 automatic door. The chicks themselves are cheap, too. Quail chicks run $3 to $5 each. You can start a 50-bird operation for under $500 total. Try doing that with chickens and you'll be cutting corners on housing that your birds will pay for later. But startup cost is just the beginning. The next comparison is where quail starts pulling away hard. This one isn't even close. A single chicken needs 8 to 10 square feet of coop and run space to stay healthy and productive. That means 20 hens require 160 to 200 square feet minimum. That's a decent chunk of your backyard gone. A quail needs about 1 square foot per bird. You can house 50 quail in the same footprint as a small closet. Stack your cages vertically and you can run 200 birds in the space of a single chicken coop. And here's a hidden advantage most people overlook. In many cities and suburbs where chickens are flat out banned, quail are perfectly legal. They're classified as game birds, not poultry. So if your HOA or local zoning has killed your chicken plans, quail might be the legal loophole that gets you farming anyway. There's a homesteader in Texas running 300 quail in a converted garage. No land, no pasture, no complaints from neighbors. Just quiet birds stacked in clean cages producing eggs every single day. If you're working with limited space, quail gives you production density that chickens simply cannot match. But wait until you see the next comparison. This is the one that changes everything for new farmers. This is where most chicken farmers feel the pain and don't even realize it. You buy day-old chicks, you feed them for 5 to 6 months before they lay their first egg. That's roughly 150 days of pure expense with zero income. For 20 hens, you're spending $150 to $200 in feed alone, just waiting for production to start. Quail chicks start laying eggs at 6 to 8 weeks old. 6 weeks. While your chickens are still awkward teenagers stumbling around the brooder, your quail are already filling egg cartons. That speed changes your entire cash flow equation. You're earning revenue within 2 months of buying chicks. You can reinvest that money into more birds, better equipment, or marketing. Your operation starts compounding while the chicken farmer is still in the red. And if you're raising quail for meat, they're ready to process at 6 to 8 weeks too. That means multiple harvest cycles per season. Compare that to a broiler chicken at 8 to 12 weeks or a heritage breed at 5 months. The turnover speed is a massive financial advantage. Time is money on the homestead, and Quail gives you more of both. Now, let's talk cold, hard numbers. A laying hen eats roughly 1.5 pounds of feed per week. At current 2026 prices, that's about $1.50 to $2 per bird per month. For 20 hens, your monthly feed bill runs $30 to $40. A single quail eats about 1 pound of feed per month. That's roughly $2 per bird per month. Sounds similar, right? But here's the trick. Those 20 chickens give you maybe 15 eggs a day on a good day. 20 quail give you 16 to 18 eggs a day while eating a fraction of the total feed. Scale it up, 50 quail cost about $100 a month to feed and produce over 200 eggs per day. To get that kind of daily production from chickens, you'd need 40 or more hens costing double the feed bill. The feed-to-egg conversion ratio in quail is simply more efficient at a small scale. You're spending less to produce more sellable product per dollar invested in feed. And when feed prices spike, which they keep doing, the farmer running lightweight quail feels it far less than the farmer shoveling feed into 40 hungry hens. The next comparison is the one that separates hobby farmers from people actually making money. Market value and pricing power. This is the deciding factor, and it's not even close. A chicken egg is a commodity. It's basic. It's everywhere. You're competing against factory farms selling millions of eggs at bottom rock prices. When Walmart has eggs at $3 to $4 a dozen, your farm fresh eggs are a tough sell to price-conscious buyers. Quail eggs are a completely different product in the consumer's mind. They're perceived as gourmet, exotic, a superfood. People buy them for specialty diets, kids' lunchboxes, party platters, and high-end restaurant dishes. They don't compare them to chicken eggs. They see them as a premium category entirely. And the prices reflect that. Quail eggs sell for $5 to $12 a dozen, depending on your market. Fertile hatching eggs fetch $6 to $15 per dozen shipped online. People aren't haggling you down the way they do with chicken eggs. You're not competing with Walmart. You're selling something Walmart doesn't carry. That's pricing power. That's how small producers win. Sell them boiled and peeled. Sell them pickled in mason jars. Package them in elegant cartons. Quail gives you room to add value that chicken eggs simply can't support. Product diversification. Chickens give you eggs, maybe some meat when they're done laying, and manure you can compost. Quail give you eating eggs, hatching eggs, live chicks, dressed meat, feathers, and manure. That's 6 potential revenue streams from one tiny bird. Hatching eggs shipped online bring in $6 to $15 per dozen. Live quail chicks sell for $3 to $5 each. If you run an incubator rotation, you can be shipping hatching eggs and selling chicks every single week alongside your eating egg sales. A 50-bird quail flock focused only on eating eggs brings in $150 to $300 a month. Add hatching eggs and chick sales to that same flock, and you're looking at $300 to $500 monthly. Scale to 100 birds with the full product line, and you can push past $1,000 a month. Try getting 6 income streams from 50 chickens. It's not happening. The more products you can sell from the same animal, the more resilient your little farm business becomes. If egg sales slow one month, chick sales pick up. If local markets dip, online hatching egg orders fill the gap. That kind of flexibility is worth more than any single product ever could be. But the final comparison might shock you the most. End-of-cycle meat value. Every laying bird eventually slows down. What happens next determines whether you profit or lose on that animal's final chapter. When an Isa brown or production chicken finishes her laying cycle at 80 to 90 weeks, her meat is tough, stringy, good for soup stock at best. You're lucky to get a few dollars for her. Sometimes it costs more to pluck and process her than what anyone will pay for her. The end-of-life chicken is practically a write-off. When a quail hen's production drops at around 1 year old, the meat is still considered a gourmet delicacy. Dressed quail sells for $12 to $18 per pound. You can marinate them, package them ready for the grill, and sell them at a premium price that makes your final return on that bird genuinely profitable. With chickens, the end of the laying cycle is a financial dead end. With quail, it's one last payday. You have a true dual-purpose business, premium eggs all year and gourmet meat at the end of the cycle. That's a complete economic loop that chickens simply cannot match at a small scale. I'll be honest with you. I was a chicken person first, full believer. I built my coop by hand, bought 15 Rhode Island Reds because everyone said they were the best dual-purpose bird. I was proud of that flock, fed 'em well, kept that coop spotless, did everything right. After 6 months of feeding and waiting, they finally started laying. I was getting maybe 10 eggs a day on a good stretch. I took them to the local farmer's market, priced them at $5 a dozen, and sat there watching people walk right past my table to the lady selling cheaper eggs 2 stalls down. At the end of that first year, I did the math honestly. Feed, bedding, supplements, coop repairs. I had made roughly $300 profit for 12 months of daily work. That's less than $1 a day. I almost quit. Then a friend told me to try quail. I thought he was joking. Those tiny little birds? No way they could compete with real chickens. I bought 50 Coturnix chicks just to prove him wrong. Spent about $400 total on birds, cages, and supplies. 6 weeks later, those birds were laying. Within 3 months, I was selling eating eggs, hatching eggs, and live chicks. My monthly revenue from 50 quail passed what my 15 chickens made in an entire year. I didn't want to believe it, but the numbers don't lie. I still keep a few chickens for my family's kitchen, but the quail pay the bills. That tiny bird turned my hobby farm into an actual business. Now, before you rush out and buy 500 quail tomorrow, let me save you from the mistakes that wreck most beginners. Mistake number 1, skipping the market research. The fastest way to fail with quail is raising 200 birds before you know who's buying. Find your customers first. Hit up local restaurants, check your farmers market rules, scout Asian grocery stores, and test demand with a small flock. If nobody in your area knows what a quail egg is, you'll be eating them all yourself. Build the buyers, then build the flock. Mistake number 2, ignoring the ammonia problem. Quail manure is strong, way stronger than chicken manure. In a small, enclosed space with even 100 birds, the ammonia will build up fast. It'll make you sick, and it'll make your birds sick. You need to clean droppings trays every single day, no exceptions. If you skip 2 or 3 days thinking it'll be fine, your egg production drops and respiratory problems start. Cleaning discipline is non-negotiable with quail. Mistake number 3, raising the wrong breed. Not all quail are created equal. Bobwhite quail are beautiful, but they're slow growers and terrible layers compared to Coturnix. If your goal is profit, Coturnix is the only serious option. They mature faster, lay more eggs, and produce better meat. Don't let someone at the feed store talk you into a flight bird when you need a production bird. Mistake number 4, overcrowding your cages. 1 square foot per bird is the rule. Break it, and you'll see feather pecking, stress, lower egg production, and higher mortality. More birds in less space doesn't mean more profit. It means more dead birds and worse eggs. Give them room to thrive, and they'll pay you back. Now, zoom out and picture where this puts you in 2 or 3 years. You started with 50 quail and a $400 investment. Within 6 months, you scaled to 200 birds using profits from the first flock. No loans, no outside money, just reinvested earnings from eggs, chicks, and hatching eggs. By year 2, you've built a network of 3 restaurants and a loyal farmers market following. You're bringing in $1,000 to $1,500 a month from birds that fit in a single shed. Your feed bill is a fraction of what a chicken operation that size would cost. By year 3, you're adding value-added products: pickled quail eggs in jars, marinated dressed quail ready for the grill. Your brand is growing. Your customers can't get what you sell anywhere else. That's not a hobby anymore. That's a real micro-farm business built on an animal that costs almost nothing to start and pays you back faster than anything else in the poultry world. No massive barn, no huge land requirement, no 5-figure startup loan. Just smart farming with the right bird. Now, I want to hear from you. Are you team chicken or team quail? Drop it in the comments and tell me whether quail eggs sell for a premium in your area or if they're still a hard sell. I read every single comment, and your experience matters. If this breakdown saved you from wasting money on the wrong bird, smash that subscribe button and hit the bell. We put out new videos every week breaking down real numbers and real strategies for small-scale farmers who want to actually profit, not just play homesteader. And if you want to know the 7 most profitable niche livestock you've probably never considered, that video is dropping next. One of them earns more per acre than beef, pork, and lamb combined. Your farm doesn't need to be big, it just needs to be smart.